Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 19 of What If Naruto Had Multiple People Sealed Inside of Him. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also stay in tune because I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Was Trained by Gods. Over on Anime King 2, I did the final episode of What If Naruto Was Taken by Orochimaru. But don't be sad guys, because new series are coming. And I did a new episode on this channel of What If Kaguya was Naruto's mother, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So without further ado, let's begin this new episode, shall we?
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So, the last time we left off, Naruto's heritage was revealed to be the son of Minato Namikaze. As Naruto faced off against Rock Lee, as Naruto turned his body into complete fire, as Lee couldn't believe it, as Naruto trapped Lee in a dome of fire and added the Amaterasu to kill all of the air in the dome, as Lee then passed out as Naruto won the match. Naruto then faced off against Sasuke, as the match only lasted for a couple of seconds, as Naruto placed Sasuke under the Tsukuyomi as Sasuke cried out in pain. The invasion then began as Gaara was on Naruto's side, as the Ichibai and the Nibi were free, as the both of them are going to stay at the Fuhen compound, seeing that they'd taken a liking to Naruto. Naruto then took on the Sound Ninjas as no Sand Ninjas were here, seeing that Naruto went to the Sand Village and told them that if they attack the village, he will come back here and decimate all of them and destroy the village. That is what they were planning to do, the same thing by using Gaara to destroy their village. So they decided to work with Naruto as they helped destroy the Sound Ninjas that were outside. As Naruto then went up to the barrier, as he then told Teiwaya everything, all about Kin, as he then placed something on Teiwaya, as a ghostly form came out of her body, as it was still holding up the barrier, so Orochimaru wouldn't escape, as he then teleported her over to Eva, who was just sitting and watching the chaos, as he then killed the other Sound Form members, and replaced them with a ghostly form as well, who was still holding up the barrier. Naruto then created a clone that take away Anko and Sarutobi, as Orochimaru went through hand sign and brought Minato and Kushina, as they were the reanimated, but Minato wasn't responding as he instantly fell apart. Orochimaru then suppressed Kushina emotions as he sent Kushina to attack Naruto, but Naruto destroyed the chakra, seeing that he has the ability to do that. After destroying her body, a blue energy flowed into Naruto, as Naruto then turned to Orochimaru as he's going to make him pay. So yeah guys, that was the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the plates and check it over yourself. So let's begin this new episode, shall we? Naruto was standing a distance away from Orochimaru as Orochimaru speed through hand sign as he released a giant fireball out of his mouth that took the shape of a dragon's head. As Naruto brought down his blade and said Kisarai, as the fire then stopped in his tracks, as the fire then started to spin and turn red as it separated and started to release beam of fire all over the place towards Orochimaru, but one of them accidentally hit Kidamaru, his ghostly form, as it messed with the barrier as it collapsed, but Orochimaru's hands were singed by the fire and his leg as well. As he was on the ground, immediately, several Sound Ninjas appear in front of Naruto as Kabuto arrive and scoop up Orochimaru and vanish. As all of the Sound Ninjas rushed at Naruto, as he simply waved his blade as all of them were cut up into pieces as he released that black energy. And Naruto then dashed off to pursue Kabuto, but he then saw something as he stopped. A part of the arena, Danzo and 30 of his Anvus were fighting Anko and Sarutobi, as he quickly changed destination as he jumped down and sliced a root Anvu that was about to cut Anko. "What do you think you're doing, Danzo?" Naruto asks. "I am taking what should have been mine years ago," Danzo said as he removed the bandages over his right eye, showing a Sharingan. "Where did you get that eye?" Naruto said. "I thought Itachi got rid of Shisui's body after he killed him." "He did, but I got this before," said Danzo with a smirk, as he started to remove the gauntlet around his arm. But Naruto's hand turned into the eternal Mangekyou Sharingan as a space where Danzo's arm was, then turned into a vortex as it sucked away Danzo's arm as a pool of blood fell. "Damn you, demon!" Danzo yelled in pain as he grasped his bleeding shoulder. "Do you have any idea what you have done?" "I know exactly what I have done," said Naruto with a smirk. "I saw the chakra level on that arm. It seems that you found a way to inherit 10 Sharingans. No doubt the help of Orochimaru," Naruto said. As Sarutobi then spoke, "Danzo, you are here found by treason," he said. "Your punishment is death." As Naruto activated his ribcage of the Susanoo, as the arm then came out, and a sword as it stabbed Danzo right in his chest, but Danzo didn't even move or flinch. He then appeared behind Sarutobi as Danzo had a kunai at his neck as he used the Izanagi. But Danzo then coughed blood as he saw a wound on his chest. How is that possible? The Izanagi control reality. How does this wound exist? Nothing can cancel or heal the wound that is inflicted by the sword of my Susanoo, as blood then gushed out from Danzo's chest as he fell over dead. As Naruto used his Kamui and got rid of Danzo's body. "Well, as much as I want to celebrate, we have an invasion to take care of," said Anko. "What happened to Orochimaru?" asked Sarutobi. "I took his right arm and leg, but the barrier collapsed. And Kabuto arrived and took his bodies and using those sound ninjas as distraction." Naruto then turned as Kin walked up to him as she had on the rings, as seen that she's now bonded with Naruto and she has the ability to use crystal style. "Let's go see Teiwaya, shall we? I need to do something about the curse mark before the snake wake up." As the four of them headed for Eva and Teiwaya location. When they got there, they saw Teiwaya and Eva drinking sake as Eva was laughing out loud, as Teiwaya was laughing because she was drunk. "Teiwaya," said Naruto. "Damn, she's still a lightweight," said Kin. "Hey there, stud," said Teiwaya as she got up, as she quickly rushed over to Naruto and planted a kiss on his lips. As Eva then said Pachio, as they brought the kiss as a Pachio card was flowing between them. The card showed Teiwaya dressed in a black kimono with her flute at her lips and a pair of rings with a kanji for vibration at her hands. What the hell just happened?" asked Teiwaya, as she was now confused. "I'll explain that later," said Naruto. "We need to end this invasion." "But let me fix that," he said, as he then tapped her on her neck where the curse mark was, as he deactivated anything that was tied to it. "It should be safe for now. You and Kin head for the compound. I'll be home by nightfall," Naruto said as he and the others headed off, as Teiwaya and Kin stood there. "Well, he's an interesting guy," Teiwaya said, as she licked her lips as she followed Kin towards the Fuhen compound. Time skip. A week later. The invasion was a week ago, and everything was getting back on track. "Well, I think we got off pretty easily if we look at the visible damage," said Tatsumi Inuzaka, as they were currently having a council meeting. "Yes, better than we could ever imagine," Sarutobi said with a smile. "None of our ninja have died, and the few that were injured will make a full recovery in a few days. At any rate, I have received word from the Fire Daimyo. He is very pleased by what we have done, and he increased our budget by 10% until the village is fully recovered," said Sarutobi. 10%, said Inoichi. "Isn't that double than what we requested?" asked Shikaku. "Yes, he was very generous indeed. He mentioned that with so many talented young ninjas who he saw in the Chunin exams, a little bonus would be very good." Now, said Saratobi, we can move to the order of business today. I intend to retire. None of my predecessors have ever stayed so long in the office. About time, said Naruto. I was beginning to think that you actually liked the paperwork. Saratobi cleared his throat. As I was saying, I decided on my successor. Jiraiya will refuse, said Naruto, as the others looked at him. Sure, he will be honored that you believe in him, but he's not the kind of person that will spend so much time in the office. Not to mention, as Naruto then smirked, I don't think you want your reading material to stop. I see your point, said Saratobi. But who else would be proper for the position if not a Sannin, said Inoichi. Tsunade Senju of the Sannin, Jiraiya teammate, said Naruto. She has everything required for the job. True, but it will be hard to convince her. Even to convince her to visit Konoha, said Saratobi. Give me Jiraiya and a few of my clan members and I'll go and convince her, said Naruto. I want you to tell me a few other things about her before we leave, but I'm confident that I can do it. Well, if you're sure, then you can leave as soon as the village has been fully repaired, said Saratobi. No offense, but I think I should leave as soon as possible, otherwise Tsunade may be approached by someone else, such as Hayashi asked. I melted Orochimaru's right arm and leg that leave some residue yokai in the flesh. Unless Orochimaru changed body, we will search for Tsunade to remove the yokai from his body, Naruto said. But wouldn't it be better for him to switch body? Even with the yokai gone, he would still be crippled, said Tasumi. With the amount of experiments that Orochimaru has done, you think he wouldn't be able to replace those limbs? Good point, said Saratobi. And by the way, by the time I find her and get her back here, the village should be 100% done, Naruto said. Very well, when can you leave, said Saratobi. 5 days or so. I'm expecting a few people to arrive and join my clan, Naruto said. Good, you're dismissed. Saratobi got up from his seat and left, followed by the clan heads. Later that day, we found Saratobi, Jiraiya, Eva, Negi, Asuna, Jachimaru, and Naruto inside of Naruto's living room, as Jiraiya and Saratobi was touching Naruto's forehead. Inside of Naruto's mindscape. This is unbelievable, said Jiraiya. You're telling me, said Naruto. You did say that you absorbed something after canceling the Edo Tensei, said Saratobi. Yeah, but I never expected or intended to absorb my mother's soul, Naruto said as he pointed at Kushina, who was sealed inside of the crystal. Old man, you were there when the fourth Hokage seen me inside of Naruto, right? As Saratobi nodded, did she play any part of the sealing? Asked Kurama. Well, some of her blood and chakra was used in the sealing process, and she kept you down with her chains while Minato performed the seal, Saratobi said. Then it seemed like part of her soul was sealed inside me that night. Part of her soul? Is that even possible? Jiraiya asked. It has been done before, said Naruto. Remember the Uchiha massacre? How could I forget, said Saratobi. Do you remember that they never found Mikoto Uchiha's body, said Naruto. Yes, all they found was her blood where Fukaku's body was, said Saratobi. Well, said Naruto as he walked off, as they followed behind him as they came to another crystal. Inside of the crystal was Mikoto Uchiha with some blood pouring from her mouth. But what shocked them? That her lower half of her body was missing. When I arrived at the house, she was almost dead. Even with my personal healing jutsu, I could not save her. She only had a few seconds left to live. So I did the next best thing. I absorbed her inside the seal. I thought I could save her in here, but what I didn't expect it was for just half of her to make the trip. Most likely, she died at the same moment I attempted to seal her. So part of her soul moved on. In other words, just like my mother's, but in her case, it was more. In my mother's, very little must have been sealed inside me that night for me to miss it until now, Naruto explained. How did you get to Mikoto without being seen? Jiraiya asked. I didn't. I was seen by Itachi. Hell, he was next to me when I was performing the seal. He what? Yelled Jiraiya. Before you ask anything stupid, do you remember that Mikoto's blood was on Fukaku's blade? Said Saratobi. He killed her? Jiraiya asked, shocked. Not just her, Naruto said grimly. That night, Fukaku had ordered the death of nearly 10% of the clan because they opposed his plan to stage the coup. Did you know of this, Sensei? Jiraiya asked, shocked. Yes, after all, me and Danzo and my two former teammates ordered Itachi to assassinate 35% of the Uchiha clan that actively support Fukaku's plan. Hold on, what happened to the remaining 55% of the clan? It wasn't Itachi, I'm sure of that. Even the skill, he didn't have enough time, he just had an hour, Naruto said. Then who was it? Asked Sarutobi. I don't know, but Itachi told me that he had the Sharingan. And that is the reason why Itachi left the village and used a Tsukuyomi on Sasuke. He left to find out who killed the rest of his clan. And Mikoto? Asked Sarutobi. Itachi arrived just in time to see Mikoto sliding off of Fukaku's blade. Is there any way to give her a new body? Asked Jiraiya. There is now. All I need to do is summon her with the Edo Tensei and cancel the jutsu with my magic tech eye. The remainder of her soul should be absorbed by the seal like my mom. Are you sure that will work? Asked Sarutobi. Positive, said Naruto. Much more of her soul is already inside of me, like my mom, so the connection is powerful. Well, while I don't generally approve of such techniques, I give you full permission as long as you don't start to regularly use it in battle, said Sarutobi. Don't worry, I'll do it while we're searching for Tsunade. We can drop by one of Orochimaru's hideouts and find a volunteer for it, Naruto said with a smirk. Good. Now, about Itachi, said Sarutobi. Haven't heard from him since, said Naruto. Well, the reputation that you and your clan have earned during the invasion, I am sure that he will contact you soon, said Jiraiya. Indeed, it's not every day that the entire clan is promoted to Chunin or Special Jonin, said Sarutobi with a chuckle. Isn't that right? Special Jonin Fuhen, said Sarutobi. Yes, Hokage, said Naruto, in a mocking pose. What I don't get is how you promoted Konoha and Naraka when they didn't register as ninja, said Asuna. Well, I just filled in their registration form a day before the finals. No big deal, since the only one who really looked was a civilian counselor and Danzo, and now they're gone, said Sarutobi. About Danzo, what happened with that modified arm of his? Asked Jiraiya. It is still sealed in a pocket dimension. I am not doing anything about it until we talk to Tsunade. Those are her grandfather's cells in there, you know, said Naruto. And those Sharingan eyes on it? Asked Sarutobi. Well, since Mikoto is the leader of the Uchiha clan, Naruto said with a shrug. In other words, we will know when you return, said Sarutobi. I am a little worried about how she will react when she wakes up, said Naruto. Yes, I can see what you mean, said Sarutobi in a frown, with the way that Sasuke is acting now, and Itachi missing. Yeah, that too, but I was talking about her reaction when she wakes up, said Naruto. Why is that? Are you expecting some side effects? Asked Jiraiya. No, not that, it's just... As Naruto hesitated. Oh, well Mana, put a bullet in Naruto's head the moment you wake up, said Negi. No offense, but how are you still standing? Sarutobi asked Naruto. My mind, my rules. Oh, good point, said Sarutobi. But I guess I can understand why you're worried about her reaction more than Negi's companions, said Jiraiya. What do you mean? Asked Asuna. Well, think about it, said Naruto. The last thing she remembered is getting murdered by her own husband. Sure, they never really got along, but still. I for one am more worried about your mother's reaction to me, said the Kyuubi, a little nervous. I mean, her husband died in order to seal me away, not to mention all that you went through. We will cross that bridge when we get there, said Naruto, as he comforted her with a tight hug. Speaking about new arrivals, we already told you about the last of our friends that need to get released from these crystals. I doubt any of them would react too bad to being released. Though, Chao would probably be pissed for not being the first one to be released, said Negi. So when are you getting them out of this thing? Asked Jiraiya. Tomorrow morning, said Naruto. I could do it today, but I need to double check a few things for the process of putting them in bodies. And with that, their meeting ended and they exit Naruto's mindscape. Time skip, it was time for the rest of the girls to be awakened out of the mindscape, out of the crystal, as Saratobi and Jiraiya were curious about the process. As Naruto stared at the girls and his mother for a second, as Naruto went through hand signs as the girls passed out of the crystal as they landed on the ground. "What the hell was that?" said Chao as she was one of the girls. "It feels like I was a ghost outside of my body and just returned," said Chisame. "Kazumi, are you okay?" Seiyo asked, worried. "Yeah, I'm alright," she said as she stretched. As Naruto walked up to Chao, as he placed something on her forehead, as her body was stable. What did you do?" she asked. "And who are you?" "I am Naruto, and you're currently in my mindscape, and I just placed something on you to make you stable, since you're currently a soul." "What?" Chao said. "Oh, you didn't realize?" Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. "Well, it doesn't matter if I'm a soul or not. Without a real body, I cannot use magic," she said. "And here I thought you want to try out the body I made for you. As soon as we fix you completely," said Naruto. "Come again?" the four girls said as they all turned and looked at Naruto. "Maybe we should start explaining from the beginning," said Anko. "Who's the tramp?" Chisame asked bluntly. A long and deep silence followed as everyone took a step away from Anko and Chisame. "Did you just call me a tramp?" Anko asked as her eye twitched. "Yeah," said Chisame. "I'm Anko," she said as she gave a peace sign and smirked, causing the others sweat to drop. About an hour later, Chao was drooling. At the opportunity to be in a body, she wouldn't be a stupid spirit anymore, as she was happy. As Naruto then saw Kushina slowly stirring, as she took a while to wake up, as he walked over to her, as she opened her eyes to see Naruto in front of her, as she brought up her fist and thumped him, as she sent him away. "That's for sealing a demon in our son. Honestly, Minato, don't you ever think things through?" Kushina?" said Saratobi. "What?" she said, as her eyes then went wide. "Saratobi, you're dead as well?" "Well, I can't say I'm surprised, you old bag of bones." As Saratobi's eyes twitched as the others chuckled. "Oh, and Jiraiya too? What woman killed you? Was it Tsunade?" "Hey lady," Chisame said, amused. "The blonde you smacked wasn't your husband." "It's not?" As Kushina looked over at Naruto, as he had a bruise on his face. "Nope, that's your Naruto," said Saratobi. My son?" Kushina said as her eyes widened. "That can't be. He looks like he's in his teens. My baby isn't even an hour old." "I wasn't an hour old when you got sealed in me," said Naruto. "Sealed? Oh, I remember now," she said. "I wanted to leave Naruto a message when he was older, like what food he should eat, how to behave on a date, how to treat a girl, and if you say the talk, I'll smack you," said Naruto, cutting her off. "Naruto, that is not how you should talk to your mother," said Takon. "That's my son, alright," Kushina said with a smirk. "Doesn't take shit from anyone." "And you should know, I am still your mother," she said, cracking her knuckles. "I'll make a deal with you, Mom," Naruto said. "Rather, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse." "Oh? And what offer is that?" asked Kushina. "You never give me the talk or try to hurt me, and I won't put your soul in the body of a 2-year-old, he said. "Can't your bodies change age at will?" Saratobi whispered to Haruna. "Yeah, but she doesn't know that," Haruna whispered back. "What do you mean by that?" Kushina asked, confused. "Haven't you looked around? This isn't hell, heaven, or the elemental nations," Naruto said in a chuckle. "You mean I'm not dead?" Kushina asked as her eyes went wide. "Well, I'm not dead, so if you're here, you're not either." As the Kyuubi then took her full form behind Kushina, followed by the Ichibai and the Nibi. "Where am I then?" Kushina asked, curious. "If you look behind you, I'm sure you'll get the picture," said Naruto. As Kushina turned around and she saw some giant legs, as she looked up to see the 3 Bijus. As her body then glowed as chain erupted from her body and wrapped around the 6 Bijus, bringing them down to the ground. "For some reason, this feels very familiar," the Kyuubi said, annoyed as she was on the ground. "Because the same thing happened last time," Kushina said. "Oh yeah," said the Kyuubi. As the 3 Bijus then went down to their human form. "Well, that's new," Kushina said. "Yeah, we usually don't get seen like this. said Nibi. Still, we can't have our mother-in-law think of us as mindless monsters, now can we? Ichibai said. Couldn't agree more, said the Kyuubi, as she walked over to Naruto and gave him a kiss. Aren't you going to introduce us, Naruto-kun? She said, as Kushina then fainted. That went better than I expected, Jiraiya said. How so? Mana asked. She didn't try to neuter me, said Jiraiya, as Mana then drew her gun and pointed at Jiraiya's crotch. Well, too bad that's not permanent. An hour later, Kushina woke up as she tried to attack them all with her chains, but Eva had to freeze her body from her neck down. Well, now that you've cooled off, let us explain what happened up till now and our plans for the future, said Eva. Don't I have any say in this, said Kushina, as she tried to struggle to get out of the ice. Of course you get a say in it, but that doesn't mean you get to decide our action, said Naruto. As your mother, I think I know what's best for you, said Kushina. Mom, I hate to say this, but you don't actually know me, Naruto said. He knew those words hurt. He wasn't surprised when she started to cry, but it had to be done, as he then touched the ice as it melted, as he gave her a hug. That is why I want to spend time and get to know you as well, and for you to know me up to this point, he said, as Kushina smiled as she hugged back her son. Days later in the council room, why? Sarutobi asked in an angry tone. Why what, old man? Said Chow in a casual tone. Why did you burn down several large buildings in the village with those tornadoes of fire? Sarutobi yelled. Didn't we tell you that we want to build some new buildings? And we own all of those shops and houses that we destroyed, in case you've forgotten, said Eva. I believe Hokage is wondering why you had to use such a powerful technique when you could simply use explosive tags, said Inoichi. Isn't it obvious, said Naruto to raise eyebrow. Enlighten us, said Shikaku. It looked awesome that way, he said, as Sarutobi sighed, and it's much faster, said Neki. Was it really necessary to create a 2,000 feet tornado of fire? Asked Hayashi in an annoyed tone. No, but it was awesome and that's all that counts, said Naruto. To you anyway, said Sarutobi. You don't have to explain to Kumo, the sand, the stone, Kiri, why they saw fire in the sky from their village. I heard that the stone was displeased, said Naruto. Yeah, they want your head on a silver platter, said Kasumi. Tell them to get in line, said Naruto. Still, was there any reason at all for such a powerful technique? Asked Sarutobi. Not really, said Eva. Anyway, we didn't stop by to talk. We're leaving in 20 minutes to find Tsunade, and I want some insurance, said Naruto. What kind of insurance? Asked Sarutobi. The kind that will make sure that she come back, no matter how much she whine, said Eva. I want a direct order for her to return to the village, said Naruto. Well, that will bring her back, but she will not accept to be Hokage if we force her, Sarutobi said. As Naruto thought about it, if there was funding, would she be able to create that healing profession of the village? Well, if there were funds, and since we're not at war anymore, I don't see why not, said Sarutobi. That won't be enough to convince her, Fuhen, said Hayashi. Yeah, I'm sure I can think of a few other things, but I just need the approval for this one, said Naruto with a smirk. Well then, we're off, Chow said, as the group turned and leave the council chambers. I beg your pardon, said Inoichi. Wasn't Jiraiya just taking Naruto with him? Asked Shibi. I have some methods to gather information from very long distances, while Chow and Shisame are able to increase those methods of mine at a large scale, said Asaku with a grin. I see, said Inoichi with a nod. But what about Eva and Negi? He asked. Oh, we have a mission in the same direction they're going, so we will travel with them for a while, said Negi. And what kind of mission is that? Asked Hayashi. The classified kind, said Eva, as they all left the chamber. As soon as they reached the village gate, Naruto spoke up. You know, Jiraiya, if you wanted to know what we were doing, you could have just come in the council chambers. No, not my style, he said, as he jumped down. In other words, you were afraid that they would change your mind and make you become the fifth Hokage, said Eva. Let's go, okay? Jiraiya said as he ignored her and ran off. Coward, Negi thought to himself as they all went off. 2 hours later, just outside of the detection range of the guards, stood two figures. Remember, Kisame, if capturing the Jinjulki Kyuubi is unlikely, we will have to retreat, said Itachi. Yeah, I don't get why you're so worried. I just need to drain his chakra with Samihata, and we can take him. But guys, I'm be end this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, stay in tune because I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Was Trained by Gods. And also go ahead and check out the final episode of What If Naruto Was Taken by Orochimaru. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And I also post a new episode of What If Kaguya Was Naruto's mother. So go ahead and enjoy it as well. And remember guys, if you're new to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join Anime King and Anime King 2 and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. But for now guys, I'm out of here. See ya. Peace.